Living the life.
The wedding industry, which has sadly taken a hit during the pandemic, and our guest Hassan Choudhury, all the way from Manchester, the owner of Maidah. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Now, first of all, 10 years this year is your anniversary, so congratulations. Alhamdulillah. And slightly on a lighter note, it's the best time to get married, because if you don't want to invite anybody, this is the time to do it.
Yeah, you can look at it that way, I guess. It's up and down. Numbers are changing all the time.
But on a serious note, I mean, the wedding industry, banqueting halls especially, have really been hit in this pandemic. And the government doesn't seem to have done much to support you guys.
We seem to have fallen through the cracks in terms of government support, unfortunately. Most of, especially wedding venues, because of our size, and we're above the threshold for rateable value as well, almost all of us didn't get any other grants. And then going forward as well, I think wedding industry in particular has been scapegoated, and there's no kind of end in sight for us.
Because our weddings, it's not like 30 people. You've got my son's wedding last year was 650 people.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, numbers, especially the weddings that you cater for, it's mainly the Asian Muslim kind of community. It must be really tough going, not just for yourself, but for the families, for the relatives, etc. There's a whole, area here that's having to be tackled.
I mean, yeah, there's many points to it. I mean, we're going to look at it obviously from a business perspective, but the side which a lot of people don't see is the emotional kind of stress which is having on families, on the bride and grooms. They're looking to start their lives, and it's kind of been put on hold because 15 people, which is what the current regulations are at the moment for wedding receptions. If you look at a South Asian Muslim family,
that's just the family.
That's right.
Yeah. How do you overcome that as a wedding planner, organizer?
I mean, it's not so much even about dream wedding. I think these are just like basics and necessities. You imagine it's a bride and groom. They want to at least invite their friends, their work colleagues, but being told, you can only invite your immediate family, it's difficult.
What is the number now? Is it 30? Is it 15?
It's 15, yeah. So it's always changing. It's going up and down, but currently it's 15 guests. So
imagine you had to invite 15 people to your wedding.
Oh gosh,
you'd love it. I think you'd love it.
Well, but we were saying, isn't it, that some parents.
You're telling your son to get married.
Yeah,
now.
My son's 14. I might say, get married, son, because we can avoid a lot of issues potentially not having to make that guest list. But no, in all seriousness, obviously you're facing these challenges, and so are those people that are trying to get married. What have you done to kind of cater? So I'm sure our viewers would love to know what their options are.
What are the tips to overcome?
So,
without breaking the law.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously following the guidelines.
Yeah. So basically, at the moment we're encouraging intimate weddings. I think 15 is a bit of a push, but just up until recently we were doing for 30 people, and a lot of people found that ideal. People didn't want the larger wedding, and they said, we always wanted just to have a smaller wedding. We wanted to keep it simple. Obviously, costs are a lot lower as well. And everyone's a winner in that. Obviously, it's not as good for us, but rather than postpone and delay it, some people will prefer to just, get on with their lives and start their married life. And for other people, it's just not an option to sit around, wait, the uncertainty. So they will, and we have encouraged, if you do want a larger wedding, and we're not talking hundreds of people here, we're still talking minimal numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we're lucky, we might get up to about 100 odd people. Going forward a couple of months, 6 months or a year, going into next summer. But if you do want that, then, we'd be looking at postponing till next year.
Well, even if you did that, for example, people have to understand that you'd have to follow the government guidelines. Whatever you end up doing with 100 guests, there will have to be social distancing, sanitizing, face masks, like things like that, especially in this, while we move into that, trying to get back to a little bit of the normal. Yeah,
we're a COVID secure venue, so we've developed a risk assessment with public health, along with a lot of other venues as well, exactly how it needs to be done, what they need to do, how people are going to enter and leave so that people aren't congregating, the social distancing between the tables. And one thing which I found quite unfair, for banqueting halls, and especially for the wedding industry, we have really large venues. And we are, in essence, very similar to a restaurant, but we aren't being treated the same as restaurants. Funnily enough, we also have a restaurant as well. So we can see the direct comparison, and it's quite stark.
And which, to be honest, I've seen your venue. You could probably hold 4 or 5 weddings at the same time.
Yeah, we can, yeah. We can, across 2 floors, we can hold 2 weddings at the same time. But again, that's neither here nor there. What we are asking, and what we have been lobbying the government for, is treat us the same as a restaurant. Let us hold a wedding with social distancing. So if we can usually accommodate 500 people, let us do it COVID secure, 80 people, according to our size and space.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Trust you, and maybe let you do one event, and then see how you get on. For example,
on that note, we've got some footage about the work that you've put in to take the venue as to where it is now. And from what I know of seen the footage in the preview, a lot of people are following suit. So let's have a look at this. I mean, that, to be honest,
you've seen it, haven't you?
That still looks like a full wedding.
Oh, I thought
I mean, the decor, the food, it still looks, even though it's intimate, it's only 15 or 30 people, whatever the regulations, but you've still put a lot of effort to make sure it looks like a special day.
Even the people who are maybe making the video, taking the photos, some people just need to have that to create that memory as well. Yeah, exactly, because sometimes a wedding may last 3 or 4 hours. Of course, it's that whole atmosphere of having everyone there, but with a setting like that, I mean, I know you've been to the venue yourself.
Fantastic. After that glass case thing, it's just really, it's a bit strange with all the flowers and everything.
I think you raised quite an important point there, that it's not just about the numbers and the guests as well. It's about the day, the experience, your memories, photos, and just the bride and groom being able to walk down the aisle, or the bride being given away. That is that's an important part of the wedding day.
And what about home weddings? Is that something that's going to take off, or has already taken off? Because the numbers don't command hiring at a big venue.
Yeah, so this was a trend which started this year in the summer. We also have a decor company which we did kind of partake in home weddings. Home weddings is a tricky one. Yes, look, if somebody really just wants to get the nikah done, I would say, don't hesitate, go to the mosque or get something done at home. However, the walima, this is a sunnah, and this is something which, it's actually derived from the word gathering. And I think, it is a feast as well. So it's about, weighing it up. What do you do? And what are people happy with? At the end of the day, that's a personal decision.
Right, we're coming to the end of the show. Top 3 tips quickly. Someone who's looking to get married or has planned a wedding, what are the top 3 things they should be thinking about?
I think number 1, if you can, reduce your numbers and get it out the way.
Okay.
And the second is, if you don't want to compromise, then postpone. And the third thing is, again, just make compromise. You are not going to be able to have the wedding you always dreamed of in this environment. So it's about meeting somewhere in the middle.
Absolutely. And keep it halal.
Keep it halal. Well, listen, good luck, and we pray things work out, inshallah. And things do start to work out for everybody, not just the wedding industry. Unfortunately, it is that time of the evening when we have to say goodbye.
It is indeed, it is indeed. Jazakallah khair, Hassan, for coming on the show.
Brilliant.
And Jazakallah to all our wonderful viewers watching at home. We hope to see you again, same time tomorrow, inshallah. Until then, take care.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Living the life.